Hey everybody, welcome back to our movie review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just got back from another mystery movie. It's been a while since we've done a mystery movie. A couple of the mystery movies as of late I just wasn't too fond of seeing. And I kind of debated with this one as well for a little bit, but at the end of it I was like, okay, I mean, comedy I haven't really seen in a while in the theater, so I guess, just for something a little more lighthearted, I guess. Um, so, you know, it's just something different. As I've illustrated before on this channel, just as of late, we have a new member of the family. So if you hear some noises in the background, that's just the kitty. Um, so I'm going to try to make this quick just because I need to get back to attending to the baby. But I just saw this latest mystery film. That film being Novocaine, which was directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, who, looking at their credits, have actually done some films, some significant films here and there. Did a film called Villains, which starred Bill Skarsgård, I believe. Then did a film called Significant Other, which I was curious about seeing, but never got around to seeing it. I'm not sure if it was any good or not. Let me know. And there they are now with Novocaine, which this time around stars Jack Quaid, who of course many of you will know from The Boys, and he is Nathan Kane. He is a working at a bank, and he's pretty introverted. He's not very well versed in social skills. Seems pretty depressed as the film starts. He seems fairly lonely. And one day, when he's working at his job, he meets a girl, and the girl captures his interest, and the two strike up a small bond, and they go on a date or two. And one day, because they're both also co-workers, so they work pretty close to each other or with each other, a bank robbery takes place, and they abduct his girl. And Nathan takes it upon himself to try to save his girl. The twist being that, as they establish throughout the film before this heist happens, is that he is actually dealing with a very rare condition, a cognitive I'm not sure how you would describe it, a genetic disorder, as he explains it, that pretty much provides an immunity towards pain. So he is very tolerable when it comes to pain. And in that, he has an advantage that grants him essentially superhero powers in saving the girl. It makes the job a bit easy along the way. A little squishy, a little grotesque, but ultimately pretty, par for the course. So, like I said, as I went into this, I wasn't really all that interested to see this, but because the trailer didn't really do much for me, I thought it was just essentially just a superhero film, but just packaged in a different manner. And to some extent, I'm not wrong in that assessment, that original assessment, because as I'm just pulling up my notes here. It does wear the makeup of what you expect with that of a superhero. It takes, influences from certain features such as Deadpool, most notably because it has this very oddly self-aware type quality. There's a little bit of Wolverine in there. When you've seen one of the action sequences, it kind of reminisces that. So it does indulge a bit in its superhero flauntings, kind of illustrating and being influenced by that. More or less with Deadpool, I would say, is its greater influence, because it is a very B-tier type film in that it has the low quality manner, but it hopes that in presenting that manner, it is being elevated by becoming self-aware. And the problem, I think, with the film, largely speaking, is that I don't believe it's as clever as it thinks itself to be. I think that it is more or less very, very basic, and it's very painfully mediocre. Because the problem, I think, largely with the film is that it doesn't really scream out its creativity to you. When I say it, it does sound fairly clever, but it ultimately is not illustrating that enough. And what you get largely for its time is, you know, a, a more or less to do with the practicality or there's the squishy gross parts. Like that's pretty much what is maintaining some level of interest or a momentary raise of the eyebrows, like, oh, okay. And thematically speaking, it's also extremely thin. I mean, it is as it is being laid out. It's the power of love, and in this case, the power that this person has to save those they love, even though they only had 2 dates, had sex one time, like, okay. And it's more defining of a B tier film than it behaves that way, but it's ultimately also defining itself that way as well, and not anything more than that, nothing more creatively speaking than such. And that's unfortunate, because I think that if it were executed in a different way, or if if it was more illustrative of what it's trying to get at, I think that then I might be a little more won over by what it's trying to do. But as it stands, it's just incredibly wooden and very mediocre. And the same could be said about the performances, which I just felt were just very flat. Especially that, I believe it's Ray Nicholson. I believe that's who he is. Not particularly good in this. I don't quite understand what that performance is trying to do outside of trying to be intimidating, but really not. He's definitely not his father. I'm sorry. He's definitely not his father. If that's the same for Jack Nicholson's son, right? Just to be sure, Ray Nicholson. Yep, the son of Jack Nicholson. Yeah, sorry, dude. Yeah, you didn't really convince me there. But yeah, I really think that it's kind of a, like, the word to describe it, I think, is numbing. The entire time I was watching it, I just felt really numb. I felt very just flat. Just like it. I'm not angry by it, but I'm also really not interested at what I'm seeing right now, because of just how simple it really is. And like I said, it believes to be elevated within its manner of mediocrity, but it's not that clever. It's not clever enough to justify that behavior and to raise it up to where it can be more than just that. There's not an extra layer, basically, to this film, and it believes that it has that in being so apparent in its mediocrity, but it's just that. It's just pretty mediocre, and it's just very pretty large in volume in that. So, and it's just just stale. Pretty stale, fairly numbing, painfully mediocre. Pretty much all the things that the film is wanting to utilize as fuel in order to present a certain concept or a certain line of humor and all that. But as it ultimately is laid out, it is just that. It's not clever, it's not witty, it's not cynical or anything of that nature. It's just painfully and utterly mediocre and just flat. So, yeah, it really didn't do much for me, and I doubt it's going to really do much for a lot of people. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Novocaine. I thought it was pretty stale. I really didn't think much of it. I thought it didn't really do much. I don't think it really did much for anybody in the theater, really, also. There were a few laughs here and there, but really, as I said, it came down to the squishy bits. When it wasn't that, it was pretty shaky in terms of its reception. So, but You guys, what are your thoughts on Novocaine if you guys saw it? I don't know if you guys checked it out. If you do, check it out. Coming out on March 14th, I believe. Let me just check real quick. March 14th. So it'll be out on March 14th. If you guys check it out then, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys saw it tonight, let me know your thoughts as well. And your thoughts on these directors. Be curious to see that film, Significant Other. I was curious to check it out, but never got around to seeing it. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.